You know, we have national.
Hello and welcome to Inside Leominster. My name is Dean Mazzarella. I'm mayor for the city of Leominster. We're live tonight. We're not in Hawaii. We're not in Florida. We're not in Aruba. We are at the John R. Tata auditorium right here at City Hall for Grow Mania, our first. And so if you've got a little touch of that winter blues, and maybe you think it's a cold snap and you just want to go home and snuggle, well, you got to come down here because it's like, as they say in New England, summer. It's like summer in here. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing this jacket, tomorrow is the pink flamingo, the plastic featherstone flamingo, will be downtown at 8 a.m. and he will be, and she will be positioned, and we will see whether or not the flamingo sees its shadow. Unlike the rat groundhog, that mole, whatever they call that thing, it's very slimy and ugly. Our beautiful flamingo, if our flamingo sees its shadow, there's only 4 weeks left of winter, and that's opposite of the groundhog. And so why people gather around the groundhog, I'm not sure. We have the world famous flamingo, and we'll be out there at 8 o'clock Friday morning, February 1st. That's tomorrow. So that's why I'm wearing this jacket. This was donated to me by Mr. Goodhue, and this is what I'll be wearing tomorrow. But I just thought it was very appropriate for tonight because of all the colors. So here's what's happening in here tonight at the auditorium. So what's happened is local businesses here in Leominster and Taylor Rental and Solon Farms have come out, and we are, you know, this is the time of year that people begin to get their seed catalogs. They start thinking, you know, it's cold on a Sunday afternoon, you might be home, and you're thinking it's fun to start planning out the season. But more importantly, there are things you can do in your home right now. There are plants that you can buy that will liven things up, and tulips and house plants that you can get. And so tonight you can come here and they'll actually give you that personal attention and explain one-on-one how you can grow a plant, how you can transplant, what fertilizers to give what plant. What window? Should the window be on the north side, the south side, the sunny side? How much water should you give it? All of those questions are getting answered here as we speak, as we have a very good crowd here on a very cold night. But this is a perfect oasis to get away from the cold. And so we're going to go location by location and get a chance to talk to everybody that's here. And again, come on down if you can't. This will be repeated again and again so that you'll have the ability to rewatch it. But it is just unbelievable the way this is set up. It's like having our own indoor flower show here right in Leominster with all local vendors. And so we're going to get a chance to walk around and have a chance to talk to everybody, and so you get acquainted and introduced with some of the newer businesses, and they'll tell you what's happening. So let's go to growing places first, right? So growing places, well, we'll have her explain everything because she does such a good job. Anne is the executive director. So let's go over to Growing Places. And Ann is here, and she's the executive director, and Molly Peterson is the educational program manager, and they're located up at the Doyle Center. And so tell us, we all know what you do, but explain for those that might be here hearing Growing Places for the first time, maybe explain what it is that you do. Do they need a microphone at all, or they're all set? You good? Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Dan.
Hello, so we're Growing Places. We're a non-profit in Leominster at Doyle Conservation Center, like the mayor just said, and we do healthy food access and environmental sustainability. And what that means in a really simple way is that we make sure that everybody in the community has access to fresh, healthy food, and also is helping to conserve the environment because we need this earth for a long, long time. So we do lots of things. We do community gardening is what we're best known for. We also run youth education programming, and we have a Greening the Gateway Cities project where we work with the DCR foresters who are right next door to us, and we do free tree planting in Leominster in a targeted area. And we also run the Fitchburg and the Leominster farmers markets, and so there's actually still farmers markets right now in the winter time. Most people don't know, but there is. But it'll get started back up regularly this spring, and we look forward for everyone to come to it because it is really important to support the local farmers because that money goes back to the local economy. So not only are foods that are purchased locally better for you, and as a dietitian, I'm happy to report that, but also it helps your local businesses and your local economy to keep things vibrant in the city of Leominster.
So what kinds of things can people start thinking about right now to start planning out, because the season will be here real fast, and part of the fun is planning it out. It's like going on vacation. It's like going to get clothes and get a new suitcase, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And you start and
Get
you
excited,
anticipate,
right?
you get excited about
Yeah.
it. So what things can people do right now to start getting excited about the growing season that we're going to have very
We
soon?
have an example right here. So these are our lovely seed catalogs that we brought. We have a few over in this corner. But people can start picking up seed catalogs from various companies. High Mowing is a really great one out of Vermont. Johnny's Seeds out of Maine is great. This is Baker Creek. I'm not sure where they're from, but they're awesome. But you can, start getting your seed catalogs. Now you can go online and look through their selections on their website or get the catalog and just look through and pick varieties that you want to grow for the year. And then start ordering your seeds, because this is really like a good time to start ordering.
And the neat part about tonight is we have people here that can help to tell you like which plant you should plant. If I want to plant certain grasses, how high do I want them to grow? Do I want what look do I want to have? What they should do for soil preparation.
Yes.
But even when you get a nice day, you can go out, and it's like a couple weeks ago we had no snow on the ground. Just go out and start picking up sticks, get out, walk around, pick up those
Start clearing
branches,
things up.
start thinking and planning, because that good weather is going to come, and it's going to. And if the flamingo sees his shadow tomorrow, it's only 4 weeks. 4 weeks till spring.
Well, I hope that Flamingo sees a shadow.
Are you going to be there at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning? That's the question everybody wants to know. 8 o'clock on the square. The flamingo will be out there. Well, thank you. And so, if you live in any of these areas, I know you just scanned through this. South Street, Sylvan Ave, Lincoln Terrace, they qualify for trees. Those are the areas that you've targeted. What do we have here?
So when you were talking about what can we do in the winter, because people think this is the Northeast and you can't grow anything, but you can still grow things in the winter time. So these are microgreens. Most people know them as things like, you liken them to like sprouts. They're not really sprouts though. And what they are greens that you can grow in a tiny container in your windowsill, and they're a great topper for a salad and just to spruce anything up. They have lots and lots of really good nutrients, and you can grow all different varieties. So you can grow radish microgreens, arugula microgreens, mixed microgreens, and it's so simple to do. You just take your soil, you sprinkle a few of these little guys, these little seeds on top, you pat them in, you water them, and voila, you have a salad.
Yeah,
I swear to
you can
God.
do that right now.
Okay,
Yeah, you can do it right
you
now.
just put it in your windowsill.
It takes 2 weeks for them to be ready to be harvested.
And then you just cut them and put them on your salad.
Yeah, it's like
you
the
guys
instant
believe in this?
gratification of gardening.
We need you to do a demonstration. Maybe on one of our shows coming up, we'll do a demonstration.
That'd be
and
great.
then in 2 weeks,
We should make a food gardeners
we'll
get
water it and we'll see what happens. How's that? All right. Thank you, ladies.
So we've got one big event coming up that we just want to mention really
Go ahead.
quickly. So our 8th annual Food Gardeners Gathering is coming up on Saturday, March 9th from 9 to 12:30 p.m. at the Mount Wachusett Community College at Gardner. So that's a really great event. It's an educational opportunity for people who are interested in growing and using and preparing fresh, healthy food. We'll have people who are experts on various topics around gardening and then around cooking and preparing fresh food too. So if
That's
you can
our
make
goal
it.
this year.
Yes, better be.
We're going to get out in the
plate.
community. Go ahead. Half the plate,
Half your plate should be filled with fruits and vegetables.
and the other half, anything you want.
And the other, if you get half your plate with fruits and vegetables, I will let you have the other half
Anything
of your
that you
plate.
want.
Anything you want. Yeah.
Okay, you heard that. That's the second time we're on the show. So, thank you, ladies. We're going to take a walk, and
Yes,
we're
please
going to come over to Taylor Rental because Laurie Bedoin and Jeff Harold is the manager. Everybody knows where they are. They're down on Mill Street, right next to 110 Grill, right aside a Hometown Bank. And so we were having this discussion before where we were talking about all of the things that you can rent instead of purchasing and whether or not that's really a better deal to actually rent.
Exactly.
But the nice part about the rental part is you just pick it up, you use it, and you bring it back.
Exactly.
And if anything goes wrong with it, and it's in your warehouse and you're storing it, but tell us some of the things that you can rent because you have this beautiful little handout here, and then the prices are on the back.
Yep.
Is this all online?
It is. Yep, it is. These are a lot of the items that we have for lawn and care. We wanted to highlight those tonight with all their prices. But we are a full general rental house, so we have lots of things to rent for contractors, homeowners trying to do any repairs at their house, in their yard. But we have things from log splitters to lawn mowers, lawn dethatchers, aerators, slice seeders. So if your lawn just needs a little bit of love, we have some tools for that. If you need to actually install a lawn, we have tools for that. If you want to have a garden, we have rototillers. So
And how many times do you rototill your garden?
yeah, once
Open it
a
up
year.
once a year,
That's
maybe
exactly.
twice.
Yep.
So here you have this, and if you get a decent one,
Yep.
you're talking
Yep.
$1,500, maybe $2,000
Yep.
that you could have done anything with.
Right.
That now you have sitting in the garage.
Correct.
You have to worry about the fuel gumming up.
Yep.
Now you got to try to start the thing after you haven't used it for a full year. When all you have to do is go to Taylor Rental,
Yep.
right? You'll instruct them on how to use it.
Yep.
Exactly.
If you've got an existing garden, we have the smaller style just to reopen it up for the beginning of the year. If you want to start fresh from a full lawn, we have what's called a rear tine tiller, larger machine, all hydraulic, to really do a lot of the work for you to make a full garden. Or if you just want to start your lawn over again, we've got anything you need.
Yeah.
I was looking at the auger. You have this.
Yep.
Let me see. Can you see? Zoom in on this little auger because it's on like two wheels, and so if you were putting a small piece of fence in, right? It's a section
deck.
of fence or
Yep.
a deck, and you've got to get down a couple of feet.
Yep.
That's perfect, but you'll never use that again.
No, right.
You'll never use it. Now, let's go to the other part of this, which is, oh, my friend has one, so I can borrow my friend's. Well, you know what's going to happen there, right?
That's
You're going
right.
to end up breaking it, or something's going to happen, and then you're going to get back to your friend, and what's your friend going to say? There was nothing wrong with it when you took it. There was nothing wrong with it. It was fine when you took it.
Yep.
So now, not only do you not own one, but now you've got to either have it fixed, you lost a friend, you might end up in an argument. It's not worth it. So I saw the rates in the back here very reasonable. And again, in the overall scheme of things, slice seeders, you even tell people how to use the equipment.
Yeah, we show you how to use it. I mean, we've been around for over 40 years, so we know how the machines work. We know how to operate them. We can help you with actually telling you sometimes what the right tool is. You may not even know what that is, and with our experience, we can help you with that.
How long have the Bedoins been involved in this? Is like decades.
1974.
Are you serious?
We built that building, yes. Yep. So we actually were located over in the building where Joyce's Pie is on North Main Street. We were there
That's
originally
right, that's
started
right.
in the
Yes.
60s and as A&G rental, and then bought into the Taylor franchise in 1974 and built the building on Mill Street and been there ever since.
Now,
Yeah.
we were talking about, I was asking you, like, which part of the business is growing, and
Yeah.
you surprised me.
Yes.
You
yeah.
said
the party
the
side.
party side.
Yes.
Yeah, right in
we
the same
also,
building.
Yeah, we also have All-Star Party Rental, which is our party division. So we do have the tools and the party. And the party section is definitely growing with inflatables and tents, tables, chairs, all that stuff. So again, you know, when the phone rings, you just try to have what customers are looking for, and we have a little bit of everything, and a lot of years of experience to help you out.
So one of the sort of growing trends for the last few years, quite a few years, has been that people have left like halls for weddings,
Yeah.
and now they're in a
Backyard.
backyard,
Yes.
on a edge of a cliff,
Yeah.
hanging from a bunch. But
Yeah.
that means
great
all
for
that
us.
party equipment needs to be sort of
Yeah.
brought out and
It's great for
set up.
us.
So
Yeah.
Everything's set up on Friday and
Yep.
there for the weekend. And we come back on Monday, take everything down, return it here.
So can you do a full, like if somebody wanted to get married or a graduation
absolutely.
party?
We do them all the
and they're
time.
like, just, I don't have time. Just,
Yes.
Can you do the whole thing? You just set it up.
We actually have a party software where you come in, sit down with Jeff, and he can actually show you on the computer what your event would look like underneath the tent.
Come
you can
on.
actually put the tables, chairs, dance
cool.
floor, everything. So yeah, it's
That's
great.
pretty good.
It's great.
Tent
Awesome.
sizes can accommodate all the way up to 400 or 500 people for a
amazing.
reception. Yep.
Yep.
Well, thank you. That was a
Yeah.
great education. Taylor Rental, give us the address, 195 Mill Street.
Yep, that's right.
In Leominster, they're online, and if they don't have it, they could probably get it for you.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you both. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
Look at you guys even match, got the shirts going.
Professionals here.
Looks good. Dodos. Is this like pick a card, any card?
I don't know where you're headed.
Jessica is here. 285 Central Street is the new location of Dodos. And I walked in and I thought, oh, this is what I needed.
Yes.
This is what I needed.
Color your world. That's what we're
have
after.
added, you know, for that feeling that you get, like that bone-chilling feeling all day, and I run outside, and I'm not always wearing my coat, and I'm like, it's so cold. And then I came in here, and I thought, I feel rejuvenated again. So, you're down on Central Street,
Down Central Street.
new location.
Yep. New for us.
And how's that working out?
Very well.
Just about a year now,
Yep.
right? A little
Yep.
over a year.
Yep. A lot of new clients, a lot of old clients, and being able to do some different things.
And there was nobody down that south side of town.
No, not at all. It's,
So I can grow these
you can
in
grow
my
these.
house right now.
Yes, you can. All of these are good for at least a week or two. Some spring color before you actually get spring. Some of the bulbs you can plant later on and have them come up again next year. We got our air plants. Just we'll put beach sand in there and call it summer. We're doing workshops at Classics Pub also.
Wow.
Learning how to do different flower arrangements once a month. So
I think flowers are one thing, but
Yeah.
actually being able to put it together yourself
yes.
and give it to somebody that maybe is special in your life is, to me, a pretty exciting
And
thing.
everybody has their own creative flair.
Yes.
So you get 20 people in there, they make 20 arrangements, they all look different. It's great.
And all of these you can do right now, and then
Yes.
of course Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes, it is. February 14th.
And that's when you can really get creative,
Yes.
beyond the regular sort of roses,
Right,
there's other things.
right.
And
We have these
honey.
beautiful orchid cut flowers
That is
over there.
beautiful.
They're blue dyed. They're like the hottest thing out there lately. They last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
They're longer than a rose.
But you know what? Somebody's having a difficult time, and it's been a rough week or a rough day, and you show up with that beautiful orchid.
Yep, delivering a
and
smile.
It just turns everything around. Can you talk about what some of these other plants are, the
Yep.
names of them?
Yep,
I know
we
there are
have-
tulips here.
Yep, we have tulips. We have primroses here. Those that you can grow indoors and outdoors. They usually they are perennials, so they will come back, and they do rebloom throughout the 3 or 4 months. We also have African violets. That's primarily an indoor one, but it's perfect for the color for right now. And then we have our tulips, and then this is an upright primrose. It's just a different stature of that. And the daffodils, also a bulb plant that you can put outside. And then we have these here are a tropical plant they call them anthurium, but I've also learned they call them a flamingo plant. So we've
saw
been trying
that.
to carry those because we are Leominster with our flamingos. So.
And also,
And then we have our super fragrant hyacinth.
Oh, that's right.
That's what everybody seems to like.
And you deliver?
We do deliver in Leominster and beyond. So,
Well, thank you. This is great. I told you, I walked in and I felt, I'm better now.
yes.
It's so cold. I'm running around with my coat because I don't like wearing a coat. And then I walked in and everything has changed. And so we have a nice crowd here tonight. And this is fun. So
Thank you so much for
All
inviting
right.
us.
Let's go over to the Leominster Public Library.
Come to the library.
Sandra's here.
He knows me.
And so people sometimes don't think. So I know what I want to do. I see everything in the stores, but I don't know how to actually make it happen.
I need a little more information.
Yes.
That's when you come to the library.
And everything is there.
We have all kinds of books. If you ever want to learn how to do anything gardening related, we have a whole huge section about them. They're all free. Fill out an application, get a library card. You can take them home for 2 weeks. Also in the spring, we do a seed library. So these are, they're empty now. It's
Right.
hibernating.
But you come in and
There's seed packets in there. You can come and take up to 2 a day, and you don't have to return the seeds. So you can plant them in your garden, spread the cheer around, totally free. Come to the library.
this is something we were talking about. What are the things that you can do in the winter? Like, I get excited to see catalogs start coming, and just sitting down and going through them is part of the fun.
Totally.
And you skim through them, and then pick them up another time, and then you have to make a decision on what you want to do. But everything is right here.
Yep.
This is it. And you don't have to go and spend $20 or $30 on one of these books.
No reason to, because sometimes you're just looking for a little piece of information, or one little skill, or one little trick. So we have books to cover it all.
I saw this plant, and I don't know the name of it.
Exactly, we got that.
And you thumb it through, and you see the picture, and there you are.
There, we got that.
Love it. All right, let's go over to Sholin Farms. Sholin. Thank you.
He does it through March. That's what he does.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
A couple nice days.
Sholin Farms, and interesting enough, very soon they're actually going to be running a workshop on how to prune trees. And think about it. Sometimes people they maybe bought a house and somebody planted trees a while ago, but maybe they haven't taken care of them, and now they look and say, I think we'd like to prune those back and learn how to prune them back so that they grow and they don't create shade so that some of the apples can't grow, and how to grow a tree and give it the right nutrition. So coming up very shortly will be that seminar, but remember, the apple sort of is ready for consumption in the fall. But a whole lot of work goes into the tree and growing apples, and so that work starts pretty soon. And Andy Mercick is the volunteer and treasurer. Joe LeBlanc is volunteer gardener coordinator. Joanne Donato is floating around here somewhere. She's the president. And so I was just talking about the workshop that you're going to have on how to prune a tree. There's a certain way to correctly prune a tree.
Absolutely, and I believe Joanne's going to give that workshop, and she usually have a crew on Saturday mornings, and I'm not sure exactly when she's starting.
Yeah.
But
The website will have the information.
yeah, huh?
Our website has the information.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
saw online they had a gentleman that was going to help do a workshop on how to prune apple trees.
Umass, yes.
And the Sholin Farms Volunteer Group just had their celebration and thanking of their volunteers. And this is a good time. What do you do in the winter? You learn more about Sholin Farms and how you might be able to volunteer and help out Sholin Farms. Joe, tell us how you got involved in Sholin
I
Farms.
considered it a retirement job, and I started out slow, just doing odds and ends, and I've worked up to community garden coordinator, and now I'm on the board. I got roped into that, but
With a
I
smile on
enjoy
his
it.
face.
I enjoy it. It's a nice group of people. Everybody's so friendly, and we're we're all in the same boat. We're volunteering, and it's a great cause. It's just a great cause.
Andy, you've been how many years now?
More than I care to remember,
I
to tell
know.
you the truth.
And you're an active volunteer. You're on the board as well.
Board as well, yeah.
And you're the treasurer to sort of keep everything right. I mean, everybody's got their strength and their
That's
little
true.
specialty.
That's just it.
And their piece of making the whole team work.
Yeah.
But you put in a lot of time. A lot of volunteers put a lot of time. But we need to start bringing in some other volunteers as the operation expands.
We need younger volunteers.
I was going to say, I was looking at May 18th, 2019, and that will be the day of the next Apple Blossom Festival. It's not that far away. February begins tomorrow, so you're talking February, March, April, and then in May is the Apple Blossom Festival. This is why you need to plan now, learn more about, and people might think, I don't think the farm needs me. I don't think there's anything I can do. I've heard that so many times. There's something everybody can do.
Absolutely.
At Showman Farms.
No matter what your talent, we'll find a way to use it.
And Showman Farms is open during the winter. You can. Christmas trees are unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
But snowshoeing and walking the trails, and
cross-country skiing. Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just a beautiful place to grab lunch and just take out and go sit up there and stargazing. It's one of the last places in the city that's dark.
That's correct.
Right?
That's right.
See the eclipse and meteor showers. And anyway, thank you for your volunteerism and everything that you do, and thanks for coming tonight.
It's a great program.
Yeah, well, every year we'll grow this, but people get cabin fever. You start to think it's cold, it's snowing, it's this, and you get a chance to go out, and I already feel better. I'm already in a better mood. Okay, here we are. I've been wondering, I keep seeing these buckets, and I'm like, these are for picking apples. And you pick your apples, and you fill them up? No?
No. Compost bins for the countertop.
Is that what they are?
Yeah,
You put any plates in there, all the organics.
Yep.
So here we are. Our
your
health
scraps in
department is here, and they have a number of different products. And so let's start with the bag. Let's start with the bags. That has become the biggest question. Chris Camille is the health director, and he'll explain. Michelle Powell's code enforcement, but works in the health department, and they are out in the community very often on recycling programs. But boy, I think it's a deal.
Yeah, it's a really good deal.
Other cities have these little bags that.
This is my best size.
They're huge.
And so when you get
nice and strong too.
When your trash becomes, you have a big party at your house, you end up with more trash than you thought. You can come down to City Hall. And how much are those, Chris?
They're $3 a piece. We sell a roll for $15.
You fill them up and you put them out with your regular trash. And they'll pick them up.
They'll take as many as you put out too.
Now the question people keep asking me is, do you have to pay cash? Can you write a check? Can you use a credit card?
No credit cards, but we'll take a check or cash.
Okay, so that answers that.
We're not set up for credit cards yet.
Those are bigger than most people would imagine. For $3, you can fit a lot of. And all we're doing is recouping our costs for the extra trash, because ours are based on a formula of so many households generating so much trash, and then when we go over that amount, that's an extra cost we don't have in our budget. So we offer this rather than say you can't, put anything out, and we don't want you standing on the thing, stamping on it with your kids, tipping them over and squishing it down, because then the machine can't get it out. Now you're stuck with 2 weeks worth of trash. So we want to make sure that, for $3 or $15, how many in a row?
5.
That's a deal. And Michelle, tell us, we have all these other products here.
We have a big rain barrel.
This is the best deal of all. I love this.
Those are very strong, Dean.
Screen,
very strong.
Screen on the top, so nothing, no leaves or anything gets
nothing
inside.
gets in it.
And then explain to us. So this, obviously, this is the output.
Actually, that's the overflow.
Okay.
In the front is the spigot, but if you
Right down
put your
here.
downspout right into the screen, and if it overflows, you want to direct where the water goes instead of having it slopping over the top.
Now this you could hook up to, say, a drain.
You could, I guess, but most of the time they go right through the top.
Okay.
You can put them in series too. So if this overflows, you can put it into another one and then another one.
And how much are these?
65.
65, that's a deal. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because if you buy a barrel, first of all, or have one, and you go to get just the spigot part, I know that, I've been through this, it's going to end up being more expensive if you pot it out than if you just went ahead and handled it this way. So
You're really well made and strong.
compost bin,
Large compost.
that's a large one.
Yeah,
Somebody
big
might be in a
one.
condo, an apartment,
Yes, with the
might use
countertop,
that.
those are for outside.
And this really, I see these everywhere. We started selling these, I don't know how many years ago.
Before I got here.
They're still here. People still have them. So, again, heavy duty, $45, and they come to the health department to get them.
And we sell them all year round.
It's amazing. I love it. And nothing's better. If you buy material today, it's horrible. It's terrible. If you can get compost, there's nothing better than that. If you want your garden to grow, I guess that's the way it's going to have to happen. Angie's here, our environmental inspector, and tell us what you're doing today about, you've got some, I like this, wetlands in a nutshell.
Yeah, here's something brief. Not many people know what's going on in the wetlands or even what a wetland system is. So I'm just here to educate, talk about the Conservation Commission's role in the community, and answer any questions anyone has in the community.
And it's really, the ecosystem is really interesting in how amazing.
Yeah, how quickly it can change and all the different things that go into an ecosystem.
So interesting, I learn something every day. So you have these little coloring books here?
Yeah, I have some coloring books, information for kids. We have coloring pages. My office is on the top floor. It's always open to anyone to come by, if you have questions or are curious about what we're doing in the community.
Mosquitoes. This little brochure here on mosquitoes.
How many steps you got?
You can start thinking right now about
I know, me
mosquitoes.
either.
And take a little walk around. It's going to be 50 next week.
Yes.
It means all the snow is going to melt. Walk around your yard and see what you have in your yard that possibly might be attracting mosquitoes. Helpful hint, when it rains, like it did the other day, 2 inches of rain in a day. Take a look at your gutters. If the water is spilling out over it, that probably means that your gutters need to be cleaned. The other thing is go over where the downspout is. If there's no water, a little bit coming out, and it's really, really hard, you need to clean those. That's where mosquitoes breed. One mosquito can
So I
breed
just got my estimate
400, 300?
Say probably 400.
400. That's a lot of mosquitoes, one mosquito. So walk around your yard and think about what are the areas in my yard that I should address first thing in the spring.
Exactly. Make a list. Check all your kids' toys, your pools, your gutters, any drainage systems you have. It's important to keep an eye on all those things. And if you have any questions, my office is always open.
So if you have any questions about anything in the wetlands, maybe you bought a new house, and there's an area behind the house, and you want to know if you can put a pool in or you want to do something, you better stop in and see Angie, and she'll tell you how to do it, right? And get it done so you don't end up in a problem. All right, where are we going there?
Buzz and Thrive?
Oh, Buzz and Thrive. Kay Hillman is here. Look at you. Are you a sunflower?
I'm trying to be.
You have lightened up everybody's life here. So Buzz and Thrive is down on Nashua Street?
Yes.
And second season, full season?
Third season.
Third already?
Third season, yes.
Sell Christmas trees, you got your own greenhouse.
Yes, we do.
Sell supplies. But most importantly, you guide people into, so if I go to a big box, you just kind of go down there, not everybody really knows how to help you. And maybe you save $1, but when you go to Buzz and Thrive, you can help people to understand.
My son can help me.
Well,
I'm just filling in, so.
Well, you're doing a good job filling in.
Thank you, thank you.
So are you open during the winter?
No,
You're
right
not.
now. We'll be reopening in March. Right now, he does have house plants, but he's in and out. So we will then start our outdoor plants come March. So we're a little variety of everything, and again, bushes, trees, and as I said, you said, Christmas trees and wreaths. So a little bit of everything.
It's intriguing just to see these little plants.
The succulents, and that is his forte.
That's the
yes. He does like his succulents.
Exciting thing to see these things. Like this guy here, I could stare at that all
Well,
night
street
long.
language is called a zebra, but
Yeah,
I
it
don't
sure
know
looks
the
like
Latin. I don't know the Latin, unfortunately.
There's so many beautiful plants.
Well, thank you.
Those I want to eat up there. They're like little berries.
Well, you might not want to.
And look
We
at
still
these.
want you to be mayor tomorrow.
This is amazing. So again, if you stop down and you're opening the season and you're buying a plant, they can tell you the proper
Care.
They can actually sell you the
Yes.
proper fertilizers and potting plants, and that's half the battle is knowing what to do with it, what kind of fertilizer it is. Okay. Let's go to Sage.
Okay.
It's okay. Melissa's here, and she put this together. Melissa, 1 second. So tomorrow is the flamingos. We're going to see whether or not the flamingo sees his shadow.
Correct.
And remember, if he does, it's not like that moldy rat thing. It's if he sees his shadow, that's a good thing. That means 4 weeks of winter, and then we've got spring.
And spring.
So, any predictions?
I don't know.
Well, you're
I'm not much
supposed
of a
to.
gambler. I don't know.
Okay. Well, if you had to guess,
If
what
I
would it
had
be?
to,
He sees it or he doesn't?
I hope he sees it. I think he's going to see it.
That's indecisive. Is he see?
He's going to see it. He's going to see it.
What do you think, Tata? Does the flamingo see his shadow tomorrow or not?
No, maybe. Maybe.
It's a yes or no, and you guys have to make a decision. Okay, let's pay a visit. Let's go see Kayla Nault over here. She's selling pussy willows. Go ahead. If you're doing business, you just do business.
Almost done.
Nikki Fallon's here. She's the assistant. And look at this, all these stones. So Sage Home Collections 137 Mill, right near Taylor Rental. Nikki's working down there, right? The other, probably the face that they're going to see when they go there. And you've had several months you've been open.
December 1 we opened and had a wonderful Christmas season and experience. It was great.
The neat part about going in is, I think, on a cold day is the best time to go.
Yes.
Because you really get lost and you forget where you are. And what you see here is a sample of what they sell. But there's a little atrium off to the side that the sun comes in.
Yeah, it's the best when the sun is in.
It gives you this calming feeling, and you walk, everything's spread out nicely, not sort of, compact as it is tonight. And tell us more about sort of what's the best seller and what some of these plants are.
I'm going to have to acquiesce to Kayla for that.
And I was using, it was like a shampoo, but it's awesome for like going on vacation stuff with Christmas sometimes. You don't have to worry about
And you sell the stones.
Awesome.
We do.
Thank you. Thank you.
The incense. So Kayla Nault is the owner. And so can you tell us what some of the plants are? And so, like, I guess what people want to know is what's the easiest plants? I'm the kind of person to buy a plant and I'm going to claim I'm going to read up on it, know what to do with it. And so what's the easiest plant to buy and needs the least amount of care?
Cactus are very, very easy. The air plants are also very easy. They just get watered once a week.
That's it. That's the
They
point.
don't need any dirt. Yep, they do really well in terrariums too, which those are really popular. People can keep them away for their pets, which everyone likes.
Explain if somebody, I'm sure tons of people are driving by.
Yes.
And they keep, people are like, I want to stop here someday. Explain to us when they stop what they're going to see when they're going inside.
Oh, so it's always changing. We have lots of plants, but we have a lot of other things too, like some jewelry, some home decor, lots of skincare items now. So we're just kind of always adding new things, so it's worth stopping in.
But it's so fun to take somebody a plant. It
Yes.
just makes their day, right?
They're Valentine's Day gifts. They don't die after a week, which is nice.
Tell us about the stone.
The stone, so we just brought a bunch of those back. That is an amethyst, so that we have a bunch of different crystals. We have these rose quartz planters, which are really sweet. We have a good assortment of fossils. We're getting some really neat crystal jewelry coming in probably next week.
And that fits right in with the
A
whole
little bit
feel
of everything.
the store.
Yeah.
And is this just a cactus plant?
Yeah,
Needs a little bit of attention, occasionally a little bit of.
Yeah, pretty low maintenance.
And this is just a mixture of
Those are a
plants?
bunch of little ferns. Those are great for terrariums. Those need a little bit more love than anything else. They like to stay pretty moist.
But you can help people with that. So
Yeah.
you buy it and say,
Yeah.
you can give me instructions on what to do with the plant.
Yeah.
Great job. And a great addition to the city.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Right.
And everyone's
That's the most
come and
important
excited.
part. Is
Yeah.
It's fun. My name's Dean Mazzarella. I'm here for the city, and we are at City Hall. And this is our first Grow Mania. And we have had nothing but fun here tonight, and we're learning a lot. And this is our chance to have you start thinking about what you might do right now. You might want to buy some plants, and you know, it's so exciting when you come in and add those plants to your home, and it helps you get through winter. And when you're inviting family and friends over, they're certainly going to feel the difference in your home, especially after you put the Christmas tree away and all the decorations, and then it sort of looks a little bit barren, and it's like, I feel like, geez, now we put everything away and it's all clean, but it's kind of boring in here now. And this, you know, any one of these plants will liven things up and make it real fun. Let's go see our friends at Greening the Gateway Cities, because they are the ones who have been putting all those trees around the city. So Carolyn Streeter and Larissa Paris are here from Greening the Gateway Cities, and boy, I said to you last year, I feel the difference. We reached the tipping point on trees, and we lost a lot of trees during the ice storm and the snowstorm, but boy, this has made a huge difference. So tell us, like, in the community, we can't put trees everywhere in every section of the city, but there are some sections that we can.
That's right. So the darkened area of this map shows where we can plant trees. The orange outlined map region is our original planting zone, and the green outlined region is our new planting zone. And we still plant trees in both zones. We can't plant trees out here.
Can you talk, I mean, there's so many varieties. I mean, some of them were put in 3 years ago, and they've grown so much.
Yes.
And they're so beautiful, but you have so many different varieties that I've never seen.
Yeah, biodiversity is one of the goals of our program. So we are planting elm trees that are Dutch elm disease resistant. We plant sweet gums, tulip trees, hot horn bean, dozens of species.
Look at the white dogwood. Is there anything more beautiful than a white dogwood?
Cornus Florida.
And then the leaves turn that dark color later on. And red maples. And talk about the disease, because we lost a whole generation of trees through disease.
What species of trees?
Well, now the elms and the maples come in and they're disease resistant, and so the, you know, through hybrid and it's changed everything. So you don't have that, right? I mean, we don't have that anymore.
We can make smarter decisions now about what species to plant because of different emerging pests that we've dealt with in the past and that we're still dealing with now. So many cultivars of elm are Dutch elm disease resistant, for instance, or we stay away from planting maples now that the state has had a problem with Asian longhorn beetle. So we can make more informed decisions now in urban forestry about what we should be planting for longevity.
Now, you have the best job in the world. You get to go out and dig a hole, get all dirty, plant a tree, and then for the rest of your life drive by and say, I helped plant that tree. Right? What's better than that?
It's gratifying.
Let's look at the phone number here, 617-626-1514, and they will tell you how many do you already have sort of ready for the season to plant? How many do you have committed?
Oh, maybe 50 or 60 trees.
So people can still...
Yeah, we want to plant 400 trees this spring.
All right. So we
have a lot
got to
of
get going. We got
openings.
to get the word out. These are free.
Great.
I've talked to so many people and they're like, nah, there's a catch. And I'm like, no, there's not a catch at all. There's a real free trees.
A tree needs weekly watering for 2 years.
Yes.
That's all. That's That's the only catch.
This part of the year, it's natural.
Yeah.
We've had 2 inches of rain the other day, 1 storm.
Strange.
But we've had great luck with the trees. I mean, some of them have really
The trees we
taken
planted in
off.
2016 have grown a
Yes.
lot. Yeah.
And it's nothing better than that flowery sort of tree and
I'm
leaves
excited
laying
for
around.
this spring.
I like my favorite, we had holly bushes planted on the side here. And I would put those in contest if we had to. They were the most beautiful holly bushes. And they had berries and the birds would eat them during the winter. But then because we have a slate roof, one winter we had a snowstorm and then it rained on top. Then all of a sudden it just let go and it wiped them all out, so we had to pull most of them out. But there's nothing more beautiful than some of these plants and trees today. And there used to be only a few varieties. Today it's endless. So let's get 400 trees planted here in the city of Leominster. Let's take a walk over here and
She doesn't, I don't think she does anymore. Debbie Moylan.
you can do this right now. You can plant this. We're going to do an experiment on our show, and we'll be growing produce in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Like that.
I can't wait.
Blink of an eye.
Did you sell some of those already?
We did.
We're going to do an experiment. Okay, let's go over to our, see what's on tap for, where's my book? I don't know. It's over here. Okay, let's go over here. We just have a couple minutes left. Okay, just a couple minutes left. There's no way. That's funny. Yes, we're live tonight. We're at City Hall, and a lot of excitement here tonight. This is pretty fun. This is the first, and Melissa and Michelle and everybody kind of helped out to bring this to fruition so we could do our first. And I know that each year it will grow, but you got to, no pun intended, but you've got to start off somewhere. Just wanted to show you this. This is probably one of the best things that I've seen. This is the Umass garden calendar, and let me tell you, if you do indoor gardening, outdoor gardening, I have to tell you, this is through Umass, so not only do you get these beautiful photos, but each day it instructs you what you want to be doing. So it tells you the sunrise, sunset. February 1st, sun will rise at 7:01, and the sunset will be at 5:01. That's the first day. February 1st, that it'll get the sun will go down at 5 o'clock, and each day it will go longer. But each time, it gives you a little bit of a helpful hint, or it instructs you on some of the things that you can start doing to prepare for. When you think about it, you can start planting spring crops sometime in late April, May. Before tomatoes, you can start planting your carrots and all the other vegetables. But this really helps you out and tells you exactly what you should be doing. It gives you different websites to visit. I think this safe to say this one calendar put up by UMass is pretty much all you need to succeed in gardening. And again, it starts a little bit on March 16th. They tell you that you should start seeds on your annual flowers, such as impatiens, snapdragons, and everything else. That's coming up soon. That's just a month and a half away. Anyway, this is through UMass Extension, I believe, and all you have to do is Google them and get one of these calendars. And I know we're 1 month into it, but I know they still have some. And at the very beginning, there's a whole diagram about how to read your trees and see if there's disease. It tells you I'm telling you, this calendar's got everything in it that you could ever want to know about gardening. So let's jump quick. Featherstone. Tomorrow, the Featherstone Flamingo. We will be downtown, prompted at 8 o'clock, and we will see whether or not the flamingo sees a shadow. If the flamingo sees a shadow, it means 4 weeks of winter left, and then we're done. Restaurant week is February 17th to the 23rd. The indoor drive-in movie will be Wednesday, February 20th. Once upon a time is when we turned this into City Hall into a castle, and kids get to dress up in their favorite character, Cinderella, and different princess costumes, male and female. And we have a ball doing that, and that's coming up again on February 22nd. And then we have the art show that will be inside the auditorium here on the 22nd of, let's see where the art show is going to be. Art show. I lost it. Leominster Art Show is going to be March. Well, we haven't picked a date yet, that's why. Then, we're going to have a new function this year, a new event. Are you ready, Carl? Drum roll, please. The Pizza Crawl. It's going to be called the Pizza Crawl. And we're going to get a chance to taste and move around and taste pizza from all over the city. That's going to be fun. Because if you went and bought a pizza from each one, it would take you like a year to... So this way you go around and you get a little bit of a taste, and so that'll be some fun. Let me just check what else is happening here, Carl. I don't know how much time we have. Somebody's going to have to... Okay. So our guests were on last week for our Box Talk program, and it's really simple. There is a list that we can email you, fax. It's on the website of box tops. So if this is something everybody can participate in. Maybe there's cereal, refrigerated and dairy, school and office supplies, waste bags, baking and bakeware, frozen foods and storage bags, snacks. So all you have to do is get a list of what is eligible. You cut these box tops up, and you come to either City Hall, where we have these boxes, or any of the schools, police or fire departments, and school department as well, and they collect these, and then they turn them into the company, and they get credit, a financial credit for the box tops. Now this is something that everybody can participate in because it doesn't require you spend any money, because most of these things you're probably buying already. So please, we're going to have a lot of fun with this, but start saving those.
Challenge begins tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Is that what they're saying? So listen to this. You know those Annie's mac and cheese and Annie's microwavable mac and cheese and Annie's soups and hamburger helper and all Scott's paper towels and Kleenex and all that? Well, guess what? That's all part of the Box Talk program. So we want to make sure you help us out. You know what? This all goes to the PTOs, and they help to fund programs and trips and help the school with things that typically aren't in the budget. And it's a big help. And it gets more and more difficult because there are more and more organizations out there trying to raise funds. So this is a way that you can help that absolutely costs you nothing, and it generates some funds back to the PTOs from the school. So this is citywide. All the schools are participating in this this year. Crocodile River Music. This is coming up tomorrow, February. Can you believe it's February 1st? Huh, Ronnie?
It's quick.
How did this happen? Which means the sun's getting stronger and spring is just another day closer, right? I couldn't even feel it in my car today. It was so cold out that when I got in my car, it was actually warm. And I hadn't even started it. Well, that sun just comes in the window, you know? So this is Crocodile River Music, an exciting celebration of music's African roots. Please join us for an exciting interactive performance. Student artwork will be on display coming up tomorrow, which is February 1st at 6:30 p.m. at Leominster High School auditorium. Families are invited to bring a dish from their home culture. Families who wish to share food with one another should plan to arrive at 5:30. Please bring the name of the dish, the country where it was popular, and whether it contains dairy or nuts. And this is all sponsored by the Mass Cultural Commission. The event is free and open to the public, and again is made possible through a Star Residency grant from the Mass Cultural Council. So I will stop up there tomorrow night. Hopefully this time of year normally would have slowed down a little bit, but I have to tell you, every day from early morning till late night has been busy, and it's good stuff. It's It's not bad things. It's good, and so that's exciting. We were already working on, for us, putting salt down and plowing is sort of an afterthought, something that we planned on in September and August. But now we're working on spring and summer, or late winter, spring and summer. So we're already planning out our plans for downtown, some of the changes that we'll make in the downtown area in terms of plants and flowers, because we're going to bring it up a notch. We're also planning for our sidewalks. We had great success last year with our sidewalk program. So sidewalks, blacktop, we're going to pave 2 times the amount that we did last year. So this will be the most amount of streets in any year that we've had, and those we'll be putting that list out shortly. And we try to get to the worst first and the ones that are most prepared. So in other words, if a street needs underground water or drainage or sewer, if we don't have the funds to take care of that part, then we'll move the project paving aside, take care of the infrastructure, and then next year, after it gets done and it's settled, we'll come back and pave that street. Walnut Street is, I think, a perfect example of that, where we've had to do is new infrastructure. Merriam Ave is, I think, a good example. Willard Street are just some of the small examples of the streets that need underground utility work before we can move on to the paving. But we plan on doing double the amount of paving this year. Sidewalks, great success with our sidewalk program. You know, they say you build it and they will come and use it. No question about that. They are, kids are using it to get to school. Everyone is out before, during, and after work getting their exercise, and so that has worked well, and we will do more of what works well. So, Leominster Public Schools, this is a change. If you're home watching, you have a granddaughter, grandson, daughter, son, whatever it might be, and typically we used to do this one-day thing at, I think, Northwest School or over at the main office. Now what they're doing is, if you're signing up a kindergarten student, you can schedule your appointment today. Appointments are beginning February 26th, so you can call to get an appointment for, say, the 26th on, in order, and that's Tuesdays from 9 to 12 and then 4 to 6. So you don't have to wait until we have that big session at one of the schools and rush in, and it becomes a little bit chaotic and sometimes overwhelming for families and kids. Here's what you need, though. You have to complete a student enrollment package, a municipal birth certificate. If you were born out of the country, a passport is acceptable. You have to have your immunization record. Kindergarten students must have been lead tested. Children must be 5 years or older on or before August 31st, 2019. And one document from each column must be submitted. So they have this little chart that you can get by going to leominsterschools.org, and this form is on there in various languages as well. And you can get this form, fill it out, and most importantly, get in there so that you can get your appointment in there. And yeah, so this is great. Save the date, please. Leominster High School Jazz Band. Saturday, February 23rd, the Icicle Ball. Get some people together, get a full table. You will see entertainment. You will see these students perform, and you'll scratch your head and say, these are students that are performing in here? You will be shocked. They're having a silent auction. Cocktail hour is 6 to 7. Dinner and dancing 7 to 10. And to purchase tickets, please contact the Leominster High School Music Boosters. And you can go to Leominster Music Boosters 01453@gmail.com. Just call our office. We'll get this information for you. You know, last night, by 5 o'clock on Wednesday night, we had that 6 inches of snow or whatever, and all our streets were clean. We had everything down, sidewalks down to the concrete, down to the pavement everywhere. You could see blacktop everywhere, and that was our goal. And then about 6:15 last night, Wednesday night, we had snow squalls, like everybody else did. And at the same time, the temperatures were dropping, and of course the chemicals and additives and salt that we put on the streets don't really do a good job of melting it. So what we ended up with is about 1 inch or 2 of hard packed material. Now, the first second it goes 20, 25 degrees, 30 degrees, it'll all be gone again. So hopefully tomorrow will be that day. Hopefully the flamingo, the world famous flamingo. And what better than a flamingo? Who wants to see a rat tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning on Saturday? I don't know how all these people go out there to Pennsylvania. I don't know. They must pay people to go, because I just don't see why you would want to stand there. And first of all, the groundhog is surrounded by cameras with lights. So we don't really get a true natural feel for whether or not. But tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, come on down. And we'll meet you there at 8 o'clock to see whether Featherstone Flamingo sees his shadow. From the John R. Tata Auditorium here at City Hall, Grow Mania. Our first, this was fun. Good night. God bless you. Remember, the world is run by those who show up. You need to show up. Good night.